China is Africa's biggest cooperating partner in recent years, and both have seen the vision for their shared future. Yes, China is seeking its growth through BRI expansion in the African continent. And this is not the end. There's much more that China has heavily invested in Africa, more than 1,000 projects just in a single year, 2022. China has also set an agenda named Agenda 2063 to foster growth of both countries in next 50 years. The principles underpinning China's foreign policy on the continent, comprising of equality, respect for sovereignty, as well as mutual benefits and co-development, are all reasons for the acceptance and reception of China's engagements in Africa. But it is not true that seems is always right. So what do you think on that? Does China really want Africa to grow? Or it's just a scenario created by China to foster its own growth through African continent because Africa is rich in minerals, especially in uranium? Let's uncover all these questions in this video, so be with us until the end. China's presence seems to be spearheading development on the continent through the financing of developmental projects and infrastructure, coupled with the increase in trade and investments. Additionally, the partnership has extended its reach into other spheres, including industry, agriculture, capacity building, and education, among others, to contribute towards development. The Chinese BRI has become one of the biggest stimulators of socio-economic development in the African continent. It has also further enhanced Africa-China relations in terms of diverse sectors of economy, investment, manufacturing, trans-regional connectivity, immense social development, and notably, energy and food security. Africa has been benefiting from the BRI to boost infrastructure development. It is important for the African continent because primary infrastructure bottlenecks in energy, water, sanitation, telecommunications, and transportation, along with low access to electricity, need to be removed for the continent to achieve its goals of boosting intra-African trade. The BRI is providing all parameters of human, social, economic, industrial, financial, and banking development to help it become a vibrant partner in regional as well as global economic growth and future. Critical analysis confirms that the BRI is already helping Africa to improve infrastructure to make it easier to conduct more intra-regional and international trade partner, lower business costs, increase Africa's domestic and international competitiveness, and thus experience economic success and sustained growth. The existence of BRI has revolutionized the concept of inter- and trans-regional connectivity in African continent, which is financed and sponsored by the Chinese-built projects that aligns with Africa's ambitions for the next 50 years, which is named as Agenda 2063. Agenda 2063 maps out aspirations to advance Africa's development in various areas such as poverty eradication, infrastructural development, renewable energy, categorized under social, economic, environmental, and political spheres. With China as Africa's biggest partner through the Belt and Road Initiative, deal with shared benefits and common development, it is imperative that cooperation provides the needed conditions to facilitate the advancement of the continent, as well as aligns with the African vision as shared in the African Agenda 2063. China's Beijing Action Plan touches on almost all the aspiration areas outlined in the African Agenda 2063. China's substantial investments across Africa have unlocked significant economic opportunities, thereby contributing to the advancement of socio-economic development objectives articulated within Agenda 2063. Given China's prominent engagement in Africa, it is conceivable that other external partners may share sentiments of diminished influence, uncertainty regarding their positioning, and challenges in effectively aligning themselves to play meaningful and substantive roles on the continent. Africa has increasing developmental needs. This calls for concerted efforts from Africa's external partners to address these development needs. The approach of coexisting instead of a great power rivalry is crucial to ensure external partners are strategically positioned to respond to the continent's development, who needs and support of achieving the Africa they want. Coexisting with other partners creates opportunities for external partners to identify and address gaps in the African market or specific developmental needs that align with their expertise and capabilities. Recent summits between Africa and other foreign partners, as well as deepening relations with China, underscore Africa's importance in the geopolitical landscape. This trend has led to the emergence of new partnerships for the continent, while traditional allies attempt to preserve and strengthen their influence amidst expanding cooperation with China. The continent has nonetheless been presented with a choice in partnership, although engagements with these partners mainly remain at the bilateral level. The objective now lies in harnessing the potential of these national-level engagements to advance the objectives outlined in Agenda 2063, thereby facilitating the realization of both national and continental development goals. To achieve this synergy between national and continental aspirations, bilateral cooperation must align closely with the overarching vision articulated within Agenda 2063. By working on this agenda, China wants to build a community of shared future with Africa for the growth and development of both countries. Before we proceed further discussing about Africa-China relations and their vision of shared future, I'd like to hear from you. Are you finding this video informative? Feel free to share your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. And if you're finding it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot to us and helps us reach a wider audience and the content that you'll love. Let's continue this journey together. In building a community of a shared future in China-Africa cooperation, it should be understood that such community is for all people, all countries of Africa and China, and all individuals and groups, with merging destinies of both countries interconnected through thick and thin, navigating towards greater harmony with an inclusive, clean, and beautiful world that supports lasting peace, security, and common prosperity. This was evident in how China helped Africa during the Ebola pandemic and the COVID-19 period. China had dispatched health workers to Africa, COVID-19 jabs and kits in a greater quantity for Africa's health infrastructure. China has been supporting the unity, sovereignty, and development initiatives of African countries and works together as developing entities for mutual benefits and win-win cooperation. Africa needs to exit the position of being a raw materials provider, but to serve both as material provider and producer in the all-inclusive market for a shared future. It is apparent that all regions and continents of the world have been able to shift from the traditional mode of production to a modern, or at least a semi-modern one. But Africa is still in the 17th century mode. The community of a shared future provides Africa with the opportunities to navigate this traditional circle of production, to learn and share experience with China for a prosperous continent that will fit in this great community. Technological breakthrough, through research and development and replication, should define Africa's readiness to fit in this community. Export-led growth should be consolidated by African countries through revolution, such as massive industrialization, with partnership and cooperation with China. The realization of the above goals has to go with political feasibility and readiness to transform and fit in this community with a shared future. The China-Africa cooperation exemplifies the significance of fostering people-to-people connections and mutual understanding in international relations. The Africa-China Dar es Salaam Consensus signifies a crucial step towards rectifying past injustices and promoting sustainable development bonds. By prioritizing dialogue, cultural respect, and diverse paths to modernization, both regions aim to create a harmonious global landscape marked by shared prosperity and cooperation. The People's Republic of China unveiled a plan to safeguard and enhance its role as Tanzania's foremost trading partner and primary source of investment for the next 6 decades. With a rich history of economic collaboration, China has consistently held the position of Tanzania's largest trading partner and investor, contributing significantly to Tanzania's growth and development. Reflecting on this enduring partnership, Ambassador Chen emphasized the importance of the long-standing friendship between the two nations, underscoring the recent years' commitment of both President Samia Suluhu Hassan and President Xi Jinping to deepen and expand bilateral ties. With the solid support of 2 presidents and the dedication of our peoples, we are determined to maintain and strengthen our position as Tanzania's leading economic partner for the next 6 decades. By October 2022, China had undertaken over 1098 investment projects valued $9.6 billion, creating over 131,000 jobs in the process. These projects, according to the experts, have not only contributed to Tanzania's economic growth, but have also fostered mutual benefit and shared prosperity between the two nations. Looking ahead, both China and Tanzania are poised to capitalize on their shared vision for future, leveraging opportunities for collaboration in regional and global forums. As both countries embark on next phase of their partnership, they are confident that with President Xi Jinping's principles of sincerity, real results, amity, and good faith, their relationship will continue to flourish. Apart from the trade, China's biggest media conglomerate, Xinhua, has 37 bureaus in Africa. This dwarfs any other news agency, African or non-African, and is a dramatic increase from just a handful 2 decades ago. Another Chinese media giant, StarTimes, is China's biggest player in African digital TV and the second largest in Africa after South Africa's DSTV. StarTimes is installing satellite dishes in 10,000 rural homes across 20 African countries, linking them to Chinese digital TV, further embedding itself on the continent. Many of Africa's young journalists are trained in China and paid by Chinese media entities. The surge in Chinese investments in the African media space is part of a global strategy by the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, to gain influence in the developing countries by shaping their information environments. What do you think that is another debt trap by China in the Africa? As many countries in Africa are worried about Chinese loan repayment, and that's why they have to give places to China on the lease. Does China really want to develop African continent? Or it's just the competition that they want to expel their capitalist enemy USA and Western countries out of the Africa? If it looks like so, because China's closest ally, Russia, has also stepped in the continent. Let us know your opinions in the comment section, and don't forget to share the video, and like and click on the subscribe button as well for remaining updated of the current trends of geopolitics in the modern world. Until next video, stay tuned.